to me.
All right, we were able to look up the name of that perfume, and it was Shalimar. So, okay, don't tell on yourselves. Let's quickly go over the weather forecast. About 67, 68 degrees. Cooler temperatures definitely stick around with the rain, and there is rain in the forecast today. Keep an eye on the storms just in case a severe thunderstorm should come through, but I think we just have rain today. High temperatures of, this is about it, 67, so not going to warm up. Tomorrow, your high temperatures only of 63, cloudy skies and rain in the forecast yet again. Then things hopefully start to dry out. We'll see some sunshines and those lows sticking around the low 50s.
You know, I went on down here, Lucas Beaty, our criminal defense man up here this morning, and looked up what men wear at extramarital affairs. Now,
I know that.
my favorite cologne is at the top of the list. What is it?
Nothing.
You can buy it at Piggly Wiggly. Aquavella.
Oh, yeah, like that's a big hit.
I made that up.
I know.
Who studies this stuff?
I know.
Well, you could probably come out with your own stuff.
Probably could.
Maybe.
I mean, you know, all the stories. Is it hard when you do what you do for a living? Is it hard to keep all that stuff to yourself?
Oh, story? Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody wants to know a bit of story, and trying to keep the clients' confidentiality and stuff like that is hard not to.
Is that hard to do?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I never did make it in your profession.
Probably.
Somebody tells me something, I'm spreading the word.
You have to, though, or he wouldn't go very far if everybody knew.
I like to spread the word.
Yeah, keeping their interest at the heart of it, it sort of makes it a little bit easier because you don't want to say something that's going to flip something out.
I can just imagine the stories that Dan has heard over the years being
We've been trying to get him to write a book.
Well, he'd have to retire first, though, wouldn't he?
No, he could write stories about cases that were closed and clients that are now dead and stuff like that.
Can you get away with that legally?
Sure. Yeah. You can't make any money off of it while you're representing them, obviously.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's not just like sealed forever.
It'd be like the memoirs of a legal giant in Athens, so to speak. So.
Yeah, that's a good
I like
idea.
that name.
He's thought about this.
Lucas Beaty, criminal defense attorney for the Dan Totten Law Firm. Y'all going to have your website up and going here before long?
We're getting real close to it. We're just plugging in the information now.
In the past, Dan has been more, he does stuff the old-fashioned way and does a super job at it.
Yep.
And nowadays, with the social media, I guess you got to kind of step out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, word of mouth is still huge. One of the funniest, I can't say this story, there was a recent case that we were involved in, and it went, pretty public post-trial, and there were a lot of news articles and stuff, and I remember, how everybody comments on the news articles that are online now, and I remember reading one saying, is Dan Totten still practicing law? I believe he represented my dad 100 years ago. But that's the way it is. He's represented so many people word of mouth, and that serves well for him. But
talking about social media, we were talking about that earlier. If somebody does a crime, why do they like to brag about it on Facebook?
Idea. I have no idea. I know a lot of attorneys in town, especially the divorce attorneys, they'll usually tell their clients, hey, do you have a Facebook site?
Close it.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. They say, close it or I'm not going to represent you. In the same way on the defense, yeah.
Now, is that something you recommend, or is that something
if it's his client?
Just some attorneys are recommending?
I had a lot of attorneys. I would recommend it because trying to get somebody not to post something on there, oh yeah, I promise I'm not going to, and then by the end of the day there's something.
Comments.
Yeah, people have a need to respond to a comment that's made on Facebook. In a divorce situation, ex-wife or future ex-wife says something on Facebook about how sorry future ex-husband is, he's going to respond to it, and it may sink your case.
Well, anybody could be a future ex-wife.
Oh, that's right.
Or ex-husband. Believe me, I know that all too well.
Yeah, but they just want to fuel the fire. So if you say something, your client may want to just retaliate.
Right.
And then it's out there for everyone to see and witnesses. And
very seldom there's
hey, we're working here.
So is she.
Yeah. There you go. But I mean, that's probably very good advice.
Yeah.
Watch what you post on social media.
And
or if you have a boyfriend and they don't know it, and that's a good way to get caught too.
Yeah. Well, from a criminal defense standpoint, it's not really difficult to find out where the big party is on Saturday night. If you know what I mean.
I've seen people across the nation that steal or get something to show pictures of them with all this wads of money and all this kind of stuff, and then they'll use that against them. Why are criminals so stupid?
So not thinking.
I mean,
You have found a friend.
I did, yeah.
let's take time out here a second. Can you come in here and make a move and let's...
Okay, bye.
Maddie, you'll get your own show soon enough, okay? But not today.
It's already heard.
But why are criminals so stupid?
Yeah, you put me on the spot on that one. Like I said, I think you asked me that question
bad
before.
choices.
I don't think it's not necessarily stupidity as it is. You know, they find the one way that they can get away with it. Don't think about the million ways that they're going to get caught with it. You know,
Very good
hindsight's
answer.
20/20. You know, we accuse ourselves a lot of times of that was so stupid. Why did I do that on simple things? And it's because we're forward looking back. The unfortunate reality is that most of our cases are tied to an addiction, and somebody who's trying to answer an addiction, they get desperate to get, to heed that call.
Does one lie usually lead into many more lies?
Of course not. You know that being a married man. Yes.
Just spirals out of
it
control.
snowballs, and then it gets to a point where I think that happens with all of us. It gets to a point where you don't even remember really the truth.
And your job is to sort through that when you're representing the one that's doing the lying and stuff, and represent them the best legal way possible.
Right. Generally speaking, it's been my experience that the biggest lies that are told are the ones that are told to us, and trying to get through that.
You ever
They
get
should
frustrated?
trust you.
As Saban would say.
You better believe it.
And do you demand, tell me the truth?
It doesn't usually work like that.
You're on their side. You're not working against them.
Which is why I think they lie to us. We're the one person in the system that's supposed to protect them and serve them, and I think if he knows.
I did wrong.
Yeah, if he knows what I did, he's going to throw me under
But
the
you
bus.
can't do that.
No, we don't do that. We take it personal, but so many people we represent were appointed to represent, and they think, well, since I'm not paying him, he's
not
working
gonna
for the government, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. We have a job, we have an oath, and we do this for a reason. We're there to protect them if they will let us.
So
That's a
people
good
want to
point.
meet with you, they get arrested. The first person they need to call a bail bond to get out. Then they need to immediately and we say this every week, but immediately they need to come and see you.
Yeah, every case is different. To try to pretend and give you a course of action on this show that would apply to every case would be silly. But let us look at your case. We'd be happy to do that. We don't charge a consult fee. Just come to see us, and we'll look at it, tell you what you're up against.
Good deal. Man, keep that number.
232-1287. Lucas Beaty, criminal defense attorney, law firm right there on Jefferson Street of Dan C. Totten.
And if anyone has any questions you'd like to email them in to us, please
Yeah.
do, and we'll see if we can't ask Lucas some
Yeah, okay.
questions.
Do people, when you go to church and you're out, once they find out what you do for a living, or they kind
Hey,
of...
I got a question.
Yeah, I got a question. Let me tell you this, and then I like fielding them generally until I get one of those vague property law questions. My grandfather built a fence 20 years ago, and
on somebody's property.
and if you give them the answer they're not looking for, you never have time to explain why. So,
They'll keep asking someone else.
well, that's
until
not
they
right.
get
That's
what
not
they want.
right. It's
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying
That's the answer.
That's the way the law sees it. So.
All right, anything else we need to know this week, Lucas?
Interesting.
Stay dry. Well, I guess it's going to dry out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
eventually
well,
turn
in
a
a
little
couple
bit.
days.
Lucas Beaty, y'all give him a call, criminal defense attorney you know or know somebody that you care
In
about.
trouble.
Give him somebody you can trust right there, Lucas Beaty. We'll take a break, be right back. Y'all hang on.